Namaskar. What does one say about the love of one's country? To be born in a country and to love it is not original, I think. But if you're born in India, which is in many ways a cosmic nation, because of its ideologies, because of its openness, because of the length of time that it has had, then you are certainly very proud to be born Indian. What is interesting for me is that India is perhaps the only civilization in the world which has been continuously alive. If you look at all the Greek, the Roman, the Egyptian, even the Chinese, they made a break with their cultural past. But India has gone on and on. Japan is another example, but at a very different scale. So when you are continuously alive as a civilization, you become the richer for it. Aggressed, invaded, plundered, colonized, India remains itself and is the richer for it. Everybody who comes here becomes a part of it, and India doesn't lose itself. That, I think, is extraordinary. I travel a lot in the villages, and it's very humbling to know that the simplest people can teach you the greatest lessons. Perhaps, the 16 books I did are all of a very different nature. Perhaps a simple book needs to be done about the lessons that we all learn in conversations which we have with simple people. Also, the spectrum of thought, of tolerance, of acceptance that India offers is unmatched in the whole world. Whatever you say about India and its exact opposite are actually both true. So it's very difficult for people to understand a country enigmatic and complicated as it is. Because if you were to say India is a very rich nation, you would be right. But if you were to say that India is a very poor nation, you would also be right. If you were to say that India is a very wise country, you would certainly be right, because the world comes to India for its wisdom. But if you picked up the newspaper every morning and read the newspaper, you'd very often be shocked to know how unwise or how foolish we can be. So it's this crazy, this madness of India. It's old, it's an old country, it's new, it's wise, it's foolish. Whatever you say, you cannot make this kind of comparison with any other nation in the world. And when we spend all our energy saying that that the government doesn't get it right, or we criticize, because many people like the French do that also famously. If you look at the Kumbh Mela, 7 million people arrive in a place, and they arrive by helicopter, by bullock cart, by cars, by trains, by, walking, and all those people sleep there, pray there, bathe there, defecate there, they're inoculated. And this happens. Imagine this happening in any other capital of the world. Forget about little places, And we deal with everything. And yet, I don't know if it's immodesty or it's an overactive sense of self-criticism that actually keeps our image of ourselves sometimes lower than what it should be. And this acceptance that history has taught us is not just about things. Look at sexuality, for that matter. When the British arrive here, they don't know what to do with the Hijras, and the transvestites, and they say this is a separate tribe. And they tried whatever they can to list them, to put them in censuses. But the Indian people continue to give them a place where they are worshipped. When a child is born, when, they have a place. So everybody has a place. And I think that is the greatness of India. It's not one, it is many, many things. And it's not for nothing when you say, Kuch baat hai ki hasti mitti nahi hamari. There is something about India that will not wipe it from the world, that the world will continue to learn and come here for the answer that they don't get elsewhere. Thank you.